guys so much for doing this interview. Really excited to see you guys perform at the Triangle Psych Fest. The first question I want to kind of ask about is actually something I saw on your guys' website. When I was kind of looking you guys up, listening to music and that type of thing, I saw this one paragraph that was listed on your website for the About that was just kind of really interesting to me, and it's about like all the genres you guys include, which include pop, goth, industrial, new wave, metal, R&B, country, and rockabilly. It's such a wide, diverse like amount of labels, but that's also like really respectful. So like what are some of your influences, and how does that kind of bring into Morning Bells? Like, do you all come from different backgrounds and kind of bring like all these different flavors, and thus Morning Bells is created in that kind of way, or like what's that process kind of like?
Laura, would you like to start?
Well, yeah, I mean, we all definitely have overlapping but diverse musical interests. I'm a former goth.
Same
That's
here.
Not, yes, but that's not the only music I listen to. I mean, I picked up the bass because of Sonic Youth and they do punk music and all sorts of pop music, and I grew up playing classical music, so.
Yeah. I actually met Laura 20-some years ago when Peter Murphy first came. When Peter Murphy released the album Deep, I went to a club up in Chapel Hill, and Laura just happened to overhear a conversation I was having with some other friends saying, "We're so excited, Peter Murphy's coming to the Civic Center."
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh my God, what?"
So
And
that was
28 years ago.
27 years
20, okay, whatever. Nobody's counting. And that's how our friendship started.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, Laura and I were big into the underground Gothic and industrial club scene way back in the 90s.
Oh,
way
yeah.
back, it feels like it now.
Way
right?
back, yeah.
So our roots, with the dark wave, I guess, connected then.
Mm-hmm.
And then Emery kind of filtered in, as he naturally would, because he was somehow part of that scene. But he connected, and then I also really happened to have a foot in the door of the pop music genre as well. So it was a kind of a strange place to be. Okay, wait a minute. Do I want eyeliner, or do I want bright and shiny and happy, colorful? What do I want tonight?
Yeah.
What kind of scene do I want to be in?
What's the mood for the
Yeah.
show?
But it was easy for me to go back and forth between the two.
Especially like listening to your guys' songs, like the way that kind of like you have the synths going on that have kind of that dark way that you're talking about, and then the really like kind of atmospheric guitar, the heavy bass. It's all kind of like playing in where it's like we're kind of heavy, but we're also kind of not at the same time. We're kind of being that push-pull almost.
Yeah.
And then we throw out a song like Tonight, and it's just like.
Yeah, when you guys
That's
hear
our-
Tonight, you'll hear it's probably our most poppy. It's probably our happiest song that we've written.
Mhm.
And it feels good to play it. I mean, it's nice, and it gets people
We
dancing.
have that on the web.
Well, there's
yeah.
also Johnny Marr.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Marr's pretty
Johnny
happy.
Marr. It's also very happy, but who knows what's coming? Those were songs that kind of just appeared, and we went with it, and it worked out really well. So I think that when we write something, it feels like we have to go into it and say, what does this feel like? Does this feel good? Then no, we're going to scrap it. But if it works and we seem to connect with it, then we go with it and we fine tune it. I don't know. This is the first time I've ever had a chance to be in an enterprise like this and write music and explore this. I've never done this in my life. And Laura and Emery are veterans. Brian's a veteran. Peel's a veteran. I'm the only newbie. And I just
Sink or swim, man.
it was like
He's definitely swimming though.
He's been
He's
swimming.
very
oh,
natural.
thank you.
I think that the reason that we can draw from all these diverse genres of music is because everybody we're complex human beings. Nobody's one-dimensional, and it's impossible to pigeonhole yourself into one genre, and to do that, I think is fake. Because then at some point you're just faking it. We cover all the bases, all the emotions, all the moods.
You got your metal guy that's a closet Adele fan. More Katy Perry than anything.
I knew it.
Something that in some of the interviews that I've kind of come across is that everyone seems to kind of feel like this sense of like almost camaraderie between all the bands. That Daniel has said something to me once that he kind of believes this festival is not just about the music and all the people coming together, but it's these people coming together to show what North Carolina specifically has to offer, not just in this music, but also in art and all of this kind of stuff. So how do you guys feel being a part of that and coming into this like community that is going to be around Triangle Psych Fest?
I think community is it's really important.
Yeah.
Like if you think of all the scenes that have grown in America, or like bands that have come out of scenes, it's like you think like the Seattle thing is represented just by Soundgarden and Pearl Jam, or a couple other bands, but there had to have been at least 100 other bands that were part of that community before they were able to spit out bands like that.
Yeah.
So
This area of North Carolina has an interesting petri dish of population. We're like almost smack dab in the middle of I-95 going from New York to Florida. So we've got military bases around here, so we get a lot of influx of new and different ideas and people who have influences that complement and contradict and make interesting music.
Especially since it's all these different types of musical acts coming together. It's not just the shoegazy felt, or it's not just the like dark wave that you get, or the dark wave kind of grunge sound you guys have, but it's also even all the way to kind of like this old time blues sound that even Ron Weber is coming in with too. It's like all these coming together to show, like Daniel said, that North Carolina is kind of offering this. We have the art scene here, and all the music is a part of it. It's all these different flavors and that type of thing.
and a lot of history too.
Yeah.
A lot of jazz and blues players. North Carolina in general.
Yeah.
But then also bluegrass and there's everything. And there's also folk and sheep.
And also, amazing rap artists and rap artists and Durham.
Yeah, right.
No.
Yeah.
So my last question is just kind of like your excitement for the Triangle Psych Fest, and what are your kind of hopes for the Psych Fest? Do you guys have any releases coming out afterwards? Do you guys have any plans coming out? Like, what are you
actually,
guys excited most about?
We're actually going to go on like a 2-month hiatus of playing live afterwards and record and write. So I am excited about that. I'm excited to play. I feel like the stuff we've been playing now has kind of reached a good point in the set, so it'll be fun to get hopefully out and present it to new audience. So that's part of the excitement at the Psych Fest, is we're not playing to the same people, but you often end up kind of with the same folks showing up to your show. So friends. So it'll be nice to have
We
some
have great friends.
diversity in our audience. I love it when our friends come see us play, but it's also if you're relying on your friends coming to see you play all the time, then you're kind of probably not making the forward progress you'd like to.
So yeah, it's time to make a record. At least a single with a couple of sides to it that we can make super massively public and see how it's received.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, it was really great the first interview that we did with WKNC at NC State to hear Ghost played on the radio for the first time. I got a little weepy about it, but I kept it all inside. But it was nice to hear your song on the radio for the first time. Like, wow.
And I think WKNC is great about that. Like, there's always, every time I turn it on, I'm always like, who is this? I gotta know who this is. Like, there's always that.
The great thing about KNC is they have the local lunch, and they've got the local spotlight in the evening as well. So it's just, there's a lot of support there. I'm looking forward to the Psych Fest because whereas Hopscotch is great because you get all these bands coming in from around the world, this is our festival and it's really for our scene. And it's going to be great to sort of bring all these different people together, and a lot of bands that I've never heard of.
Exactly. Some of these bands I've never heard of, so
I know all the old folks. I don't know the young kids. I want to see what kids are doing these
Yeah.
days.
Make new connections, find people to play with.
It's a
like
show for us
sounds.
as well as it is for the audience. I mean, I'm excited to see who we play with.
Dexter can meet me for the first time, the fourth time. I've actually played with Dexter a couple of times, and he never recognizes me. He's
Well,
like,
it's because you changed your hair.
no, that may be true. There's also long gaps between the times we play together. So.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for doing this interview. And like I said, I'm super stoked to see you guys at the Triangle Psych Fest.
Thank you.